Kia ora e te whānau. Well, here's me hoping that my camera battery lasts long enough for this. Today, I thought I would show you, I came up with another one-page wonder. This guy here, that is just a one-page fold and cut and glue. So you've got an open pocket here. It's a belly band. Got a pocket there that separates that part there. Another pocket there. Another pocket there, there, and there. Hopefully that explains how many pockets there are. Now I am going to be doing this with just ledger paper, which means that some of the writing will be upside down, and I can always decorate that. It's just going to sit in my stash for when I want to use it. What I did with this one was just an experiment. I just glue sticked a napkin on the other side of a 12 by 12 one side scrapbook paper. Just make sure that whatever pattern you use, it's non-directional, or as you're making this, make sure that the one that is directional, if it's on the back, it's upside down. That makes sense. Or if it's directional, make sure that when you glue it, that you've got it up the right way, and then when you flip it, make sure that you put the other one that's directional upside down. I hope that helps. Maybe start by just making one that is going to be upside down and you don't care. So I have just, I'll try and do this in inches because I know a lot of you are in America and you deal with inches. So the ledger page I have just chopped down to 12 inches because it's just slightly longer. And basically this here, you can do whatever length you want. All you need is the length of your page plus the size of the pocket you want it to go to, and you'll see what I mean in just a second. So what we need to do is grab our scorer. I just love having lots of pockets to stuff things into. Oops, sorry. And if you don't want to have to worry about cutting each one, losing a little bit of pocket space because it's been glued, etc., on both sides and down the bottom, these are great. And as you can see, I was quite happy with how it came out when I had two different sides, but it does look really good in just this ledger. This is probably quite thick paper. It is original. What's the date on that? Have we got a date? 1890. And this is just something quite special that you can make it out of if you've got some. So we need to score at 3.5. My paper wants to stay still. 7. And 9.5, or 9 4/8. Sorry, we use centimetres in New Zealand, so I'm not used to saying the fraction. I honestly don't know how you guys do it, not being on a base 10. Then, trust me, this is way simpler than the last one-page pocket fold that I came up with in my head. So we fold this one in. I am just going to trim about 1/4 of an inch off that edge so that it sits nicely when it's folded into the crease. And we are going to fold that guy. Of course, bone fold is going to make, because it is going to be bulky, because it is going to be layers of paper. So now we've just got enough room there that we don't have to worry about that meeting right on the edge. You might also want to do it to this edge, so I will just quickly do that. No, that edge doesn't matter. Here I am confusing everybody again. Okay, now you could fold right down to that crease. I find it better to, well, yes, fold quite close. I fold it on just a slight angle. Just allows it to fold in nicely. Okay, then this guy over here, he is going to actually fold back this way. And same over here, he needs to fold in like that, which is a little bit of a shame because we're going to miss that number and it's quite cool, but that's alright. Then, based on the size of the page you're using, if you want it to fit perfectly, that's when you fold this guy up. I'm going to fold it up a little bit more because I actually want to stick it to a page not as a belly band. I want it to be either a pocket with a little tuck in the side. So there's two variations you can do, but if you want to do the belly band and you want it to fit, you just line it up at the top and you put that fold right there at the bottom. Okay, I want to go up to about there, so I just need to mark that as well as I can, and then we need to cut up to that line on all of these folds. Ledger paper is quite handy because you can see the lines. And then it is just a matter of deciding where you want your pockets. So if I fold that one right up to that cut line, I want to fold this one slightly down. And because this is nice thick ledger paper, I'm not going to bother folding over that top. Usually I would just fold over just a little bit of a lip just to make it just a little bit sturdier. Make sure we bone fold each one. This one here will be slightly different lengths in here because we've trimmed so that they fold in nicely, and this guy comes down just a little bit as well. So I guess that is going to fit randomly as a perfect belly band on an A5 page. So because we're bringing these cuts down and they're not in the original, that's the only one that's in the original, that's got about another 3/4 of an inch, 3/4 of an inch, 3/4 of an inch. So if you're good at maths, I would say when we've got it like that, you want the fold to be 1 inch higher than the bottom of the page. So that will be where you want your first, if that's right, 3/4 of an inch times 4 should be an inch. And then you would only fold these up so that they are only 3/4 of an inch difference. Okay, if you want them bigger, then you're going to have to add up how much gap there is there and take it off the height of your page. Does it make sense? I hope it does. I'm sorry if it doesn't. Okay, so just give these one more smooth down, and that's pretty much it. All we've got to do now is ink. Can I just say, Daubers, right? You know the foam ones? Hopeless. I bought a couple of the sponge foam ones, and after about 2 weeks, all the little bits of foam start breaking off and going all over my work. And when you pick them up, if I've got too much ink on them, they get bits of random ink where you don't want them. These are the domed ones, if you can see the shape of that. They're like makeup sponge almost. I highly recommend. Way better, last for months and months and months, and you don't have to worry about them breaking up. So I'm just going to ink the rest of this in silence. The only other thing I have to do, just so that it helps us see where the pockets are, of course, is in each one of these little fold ups, I am just going to pop a little divot so that it's easier to get things into the pocket, and you can see that the pocket's there. Okay, now I will ink in silence. Okay, so usually I would say it's kind of up to you whether you want to ink or not. In this case, excuse me, I would recommend it. The reason being is, see now how you can easily see all the divisions and places that you could put a pocket. And that just makes life a whole lot easier. Now, you could probably have turned off a long time ago, to be fair. So if you are still watching, feel free to turn off now, because all I'm going to do now is glue where I need to glue. As soon as I unblock my glue nozzle. Oh, good grief. Right. So this one here I like to leave open for 2 reasons. One, because it makes a nice little place to just slide something into the side so that it can extend out, because I like things that extend out a little bit. But 2, if you do glue down there, that is a very tall pocket. You could make a really nice tag or bookmark, a nice long one, and pop it in there, and that would look great. And if you're going to do that, then I would glue down there, but I don't. I haven't. So this one here, so we're going to glue this guy. Now, you might want to wait. It's up to you, but if glue squishes out here, you don't want that to stick to the next part. We also want to glue this guy down. This guy here. This guy here and here. Same with this guy. And the last 2. And there you have it. Done, done. See, that one was easier than the last one I made. And then you can glue it top, bottom, obviously, and pop it in there and fill her up to your heart's content. Now, I really like that option just with the ledger, and it doesn't bother me too much, honestly, that the writing in places is upside down. And then you just go to town decorating if you want to. So I just realised that I've done that one a little bit different than this one. So all that means is that this guy needed to fold under this piece and then fold this piece over. That's the only difference there. But that actually gives you another pocket there. So I guess I've just given you a different option, really. See, sometimes boo-boos are good. That still fits in there perfectly. And it would go down further. That guy in there. So yeah, everything still works out just great, and that would go right down. But there you go. So if you want to make one like this, you have a video for it. If you want to make one like this, all you need to do is make sure that you fold this one in first while this side is still out, and then fold that side over top, and you'll get this coming down on top. Okay, there you go. Well, let me know what you think. Another little one that came out of my head. Don't know if you've ever seen it before. Let me know. And until next time, mā te wā!